Hi, I'm Jen Girardi, and I support polyamorous parents and unconventional humans to lead deeply fulfilling lives. Today, we're talking about New Year's and about intention setting and about New Year's resolutions and why they are not great, and what I've been doing instead for the past 8 years, I think. So I'm sure that we're all super familiar with the idea of you set a New Year's resolution, it lasts for like days to weeks, and then it doesn't really stick. And then we kind of don't know what to do at that point because there was some kind of positive intention underlying whatever New Year's resolution we set. And then when it didn't work, it's like, okay, so can we just not have the nice thing? Or what do we do instead? So there's lots of issues with this and lots of people have talked about it. So I'm not going to go too far into why New Year's resolutions are not great. But I will just say one of the things I see a lot with my clients is that either people set totally unrealistic New Year's resolutions, like, I'm going to suddenly be a completely different person tomorrow with a completely different life, completely different habits, use my time completely differently, and it's just it's both, likely unrealistic for who you are and how you operate in the world. It's also unrealistic to make that big of a change that fast. People generally do better with incremental changes. Or the other possibility is that we set a New Year's resolution without a real understanding of like why, it's sort of like there's some kind of nebulous idea of like, oh, if I was good, I would eat healthy. And it's like, okay, what is good? What is healthy? And why? And the reality might be that there's some kind of internalized idea of yourself as not worthy or not good enough, and that's really the thing. Is like no matter what you eat, no matter how healthy it is, it's never going to make you feel good because the issue is really the internalized unworthiness, or the healthy is not well defined. So it's like, how are you supposed to possibly do that when you're not really sure what that is? And then it's like this paralysis of like, is this healthy? Is this not healthy? What am I supposed to be eating? Um, and then there's also the why. It's like maybe you actually don't give a rat's ass about whatever health benefits somebody else thinks they're getting from their diet. Maybe that's actually not something that's important to you. And so you're not going to stick to something that has nothing to do with your actual goals and priorities in your life. So those are the biggest things that stand out to me as why New Year's resolutions are pretty useless. Now, if you set a New Year's resolution that is like an incremental change that's very achievable, with a very clear sense of what you're doing and why, then it might actually stick. And some people do that, and that's great. And I don't think you should necessarily do that just for New Year's. At any point in your life, if you see something that you would like to change and you have a very clear sense of what you're changing and why, and it's a small, incremental, sustainable change that you're making, great, do it. Don't wait for January 1st, just do it. But when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, really the reason that people set them, a lot of the reason that people set them, is because we have some kind of intentions for like, whether this past year has been good, bad, or ugly, we have hopeful aspirations for what the next year could be. And we're reflecting on, what was great, what was not great, what worked, what didn't work in the past year. What do I want out of the next year? And that's a really great thing to be doing. We don't necessarily need actionable goals to come out of that, but the process of the introspection and the consideration of what's working in my life, what's not working in my life, what do I want more of, what do I want less of, that process is really valuable. And again, no need to wait for New Year's for this, but it can be helpful to have sort of a rhythm of yearly or so, because we also don't want to be stuck constantly in that place. We need to, most of the time, be putting our energy into doing the things that we want more of, not constantly over analyzing and having anxiety about what is and isn't working. So, roughly yearly can be helpful to have that rhythm of introspection. So, for me, I start that with the solstice. The solstice in December, I think about what do I want to burn away, as it were, in the fire? What do I want to leave behind in the year that's ending? And what do I want to bring into the light of the new year? What do I want more of? So that's, and so between the solstice and the new year, I spend some time in that introspective space and considering what is not working, what is working, what do I want more of, what do I want to prioritize, where do I want to put my time and energy in the next year. And then the tradition I've had for about 8 years now is that on New Year's Eve, on December 31st, I reserve that day to end the year as I mean to go on. So that means that I take that day off in the sense of whatever regular commitments I might have. I don't schedule them for that day. And then I think about, so in that process of contemplation, I think about what are the things that I've decided I want to bring forward into the new year, and what does that mean for how I spend my time and energy? What are the priorities for, it might be, are there habits, the year that I started this tradition, I was really trying to, I decided I really wanted to establish a habit of doing some yoga or stretching every day, because I could see that when I did that a bunch of days in a row, my body felt really good. But at the time, I would do it for a couple of days and then not for weeks. And it would be like, I'm in so much pain that I'm having headaches every day. And then I'd finally bring it back for a couple of days. And I was like, I think if I could just do this every day, or like 90% of the days, even, it would make a really huge difference in my life. So one of the things that I did on that New Year's Eve was I did some yoga. So that could be an example of something where I am trying to establish a habit. And it took longer than just that one night or that one year, but it has become a practice that I now spend about 15 minutes most days doing, and it has made a huge difference in my life. So setting that intention is the first thing. And then also the understanding that I'm not going to perfectly do it every day. From that first day, I'm going to fall off, and I'm going to keep the intention and keep coming back to it. And it's going to eventually become, instead of 10% of the days, it's 20, and then it's 50, and then it's 80. And then also it's realistic that I'm not going to do it 100% of the time, because I know me. And I know that if I think I have to do it 100% of the time, I won't do it at all. So knowing yourself is also a big part of this, making sure that you're uh, really setting your intentions in congruence with who you are as a person and what's realistic for you. So in this year, on December 31st, I'm planning to spend some time with my kids. Not just time, but like thinking about what do I want the time with my kids to be like in the next year, and what kind of joy do I want to bring to how we spend our time together. And, of course, I will have to do the actual day-to-day parenting things, because it's still a normal day in that sense. But I also am thinking about, how can we have some fun together? How can we spend some time doing things that we all enjoy together, and bringing that feeling of connection and togetherness into the day. I'm going to spend some time doing some things to take care of myself, like the yoga, like some meditation, those kinds of things. I also, and this is a thing that I do pretty much every year, because it's always an intention to bring more of into my life, is things that I do just for fun and enjoyment. Letting go of the to-do list and all the things that need to be done, because they'll still be there on January 1st. And really just being like, what do I want to do? how do I want to creatively express myself? What kind of fun do I want to have? So I'll be spending some time doing probably some art projects, um, just letting the creativity out. I'll spend some time with friends, with people that I really enjoy connecting with and spending time with. I will spend some time working on my business because this is also a passion and a priority for me. So, um, in reality, most of those are things that I do every day or many days anyway. I have been and I will continue. And that's kind of the point, is rather than to do those things because it's just what we do every day and it's obligation, but to be really intentional for that day, be really intentional about what do I want to do with my time and energy? Where do I want to direct my focus? And, with each thing that comes up, is this something I really want to do? Or is this something I feel like I have to do? And just about anything that I feel like I have to do, unless it's truly an emergency, can wait for at least that one day. So for at least that one day, I can say no to anything that isn't a truly want to, a yes in my body that really want to do this. And spend that one day really feeling, what does it feel like to really say yes to my passions and my intentions and my priorities for my life? And then carry that feeling forward into January, into the new year. So that's sort of my take on refreshing and renewing for the new year. I would love to hear what traditions and what thoughts you have or what you're bringing with you into the new year. Uh, you can put that in the comments, and I also in the links will have how you can reach out to me directly and more privately. And if uh, taking care of yourself, having more support, having someone to walk along with you in this journey of setting intentions and bringing your life into more alignment with who you are and what you want for yourself, if that's part of what you are wanting to bring into this new year, then get in touch because that's what I do. I'm here to support you. And I look forward to connecting with you soon.